"I'm up for a new suit," he said, "but nobody touches my hair." "Well, you'll need to put a comb through it," she said, reaching up and ruffling it. "Get off," he said, smacking her hand away and laughing. Was Peter really as absorbed as he seemed by her wedding plans? "You do know marriage is the chief reason for divorce, Gail," he said and laughed. Ava met his eye and smiled. "Not in our case." Gail had completely missed his humour, rarely laughing in the abandoned way she had as a child. Ava was kneeling on the floor, a glass of white wine clasped in both hands. Gail and Rory had brought 2 bottles with them, Gail bragging how expensive it was and nagging Ava for drinking it way too fast. Truth was, Ava wasn't even keen on the taste, but she enjoyed the numbing effect it was having, each gulp making her care less and less that she'd been thrown together with her family. She glanced up at Rory fiddling with the CD player. He looked good in a black tailored shirt and jeans. She couldn't help admiring how well they fitted. "Hey, Gail," he said, lifting up an Eric Clapton CD. "You look wonderful tonight." She smiled and blew him a playful kiss. She looked happy. Ava bit down on her envy. They seemed besotted with each other. She should be pleased for her sister. "What music will you have at the wedding service?" Jeanette asked. "Vivaldi, Winter," Rory said, "for when Gail walks down the aisle." Gail smiled. "Rory likes his classical music," she said. "Only Italian composers. Vivaldi was my mother's favourite." "And at the end of the service, we're having Candle in the Wind," Gail said. "Like at Diana's funeral?" Peter said with an air of sarcasm. Gail didn't take the bait. "It's our song," she said, her cheeks glowing, "and our first dance will be Yellow by Coldplay." Ava's eyes moved to the open kitchen door, to where her mum was putting the finishing touches to a plate of sandwiches. "Need any help, Mum?" she called through. "Bit late for that, isn't it?" Rory said. She looked back at him. He nodded towards the table laden with food and laughed. "Pretty sure you waited until everything was done before offering." "I didn't see anyone else offer," she said with a half smile as her mum appeared with the final plate. Rory pressed play on the CD player. "That looks great, Jeanette," he said to her mum as she placed them on the table. Jeanette threw him a wide smile. "It's so lovely that we're all together again. It's been so long," she said, dropping into the armchair and tapping her knee to Eric Clapton. "When can we eat, Mum?" Peter said, as though he was 8 years old. "You haven't changed a bit," she said. "Always like your food." He rose, his purple cotton trousers creased from sitting too long, and grabbed a plate. Gail closed her wedding book and slipped it down beside the sofa. She picked up her wine glass, taking a delicate sip. "Do you like the wine, Mum?" she said. Jeanette took a mouthful and winced. "Lovely." "We're having it at the wedding," she said, as Rory sat down beside her. "Are you having Asti Spumante?" Jeanette chirped in. "I do like a drop of fizz." "I'm getting a box of champagne, Jeanette," Rory said, "for the toasts." "Well, as long as there's beer," Peter said, grabbing a handful of sandwiches and looking around for somewhere to sit. The room was small and square, with patio doors opening onto the wintry gardens. The walls were papered with 2 different Laura Ashley patterns, separated by a dado rail, and photographs and ornaments cluttered every surface. Claustrophobia washed over Ava. There were too many people. Too much noise. The room swam before her eyes. Oh God, had she drunk too much wine? She got up to leave. "Where are you off to, Ava?" Peter asked. "I thought I heard Willow, that's all." "Well, don't be long," Gail said. "Mum's gone to a lot of trouble." Yes, I know. I'll be back in a minute." She took the stairs 2 at a time and entered her bedroom. The room was in semi-darkness, red curtains pulled across the window. She clicked the door closed behind her, glad of her sanctuary now Gail had moved out. But it hadn't been all bad sharing with Gail, had it? A happy memory brightened her thoughts. Ava sitting at Gail's dressing table, flicking her sister's mascara brush over her fair lashes, leaving them gloopy. "Not like that," Gail had said, laughing, coming up behind her and pulling up a stool. "Let me show you." Gail had made up Ava's face that day, narrowing her eyes and biting the tip of her tongue as she applied foundation to Ava's fair skin, red lipstick to her lips, shades of grey and silver shadow onto her eyelids.